Hey, family. What it do, family? How you? Hey, it's Monday. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, probably 11:01 right now, and you're in the beat down. The beat down. If you're trying to follow us and find us by spelling it correctly, it's not going to work. It's DA space BEATDOWN. The beat down. Had a good show yesterday. Today we're going to ride out for a little while, infotain, and get this thing started correctly. So, you see he ain't saying nothing. It's all right. It's all right. We'll see you on the other side of the intro, okay? Love you, family.
Introduce you to the greatest combat sports show bar none. You are now in the beatdown.
You wanna get beat down?
Let us now introduce you to your host, the Badger, and
What's going on, family? What's going on? This is the place you really want to be right now. In the beat down. What's going on, bro?
Man, I can't call it, bro. How you doing?
It's Monday.
Yeah, man. It was a long weekend, man. But hashtag I watched the pod yesterday, man. So, I'm ready to get back into some of those things you discussed yesterday and talk about, a little bit of some of those things in a little bit more detail. And then to talk about what we got cooking this weekend, because we got some good stuff cooking this weekend, bro. So
All right. How you want to begin?
oh man, listen, you had me rolling when you were talking about Heather Hardy. And it's funny because if you hashtag watch our pod, we talked about this. I remember specifically saying, yeah, we're fans of Heather Hardy, but she's been around a while. We want her to do well. But I said, bro, she's getting up there. She's pretty long in the tooth. And although I did miss the fight, I read the article. But before I read the article, I heard your breakdown yesterday, and it sounded pretty much like what we were saying. Like, hey, there's a possibility that she may get old on there on Friday, and if she does, it could probably go downhill. And from what you were saying, I mean, she seemed to be competitive, but it just seemed like she was just getting outworked, just by a younger, more hungry fighter, I guess. I don't know. Is that accurate?
The girl was not more skilled than her. Well, at least the woman that faced her kept her hands up. I don't know what Heather was trying to prove, what she was trying to do, but yeah, she got outworked, not majorly, but she got outworked by somebody who was being fundamentally sound. And this girl was pumping that jab in and moving and going to the body. And it was and her right cross was working because she came in behind the jab.
For sure.
And she kept her head off a straight line. Heather had her head on a straight line a lot of the fight. It was crazy.
No, and then you said she was fighting a lot of time with her hands down. So I don't know if she thought maybe she would have had a speed advantage or what, but that's awkward. That's kind of weird.
Right. And her punch output was always high.
Mm-hmm.
Even the commentator said 75 to 100 punches per round.
Mm-hmm.
She may have thrown 75 punches in 6 rounds.
Wow. So this is a very conservative Heather Hardy. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
You
if
don't
you get
have
a
knockout
chance.
power, so it's not like,
Right.
you were ever one punch away from winning a fight. So, okay.
Right. It was it wasn't something that I counted on seeing. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, you definitely spoke highly of her on the breakdown on Thursday, but yeah, man, that's the thing with age, man. It just shows up when it shows up.
And when it shows up, it shows out.
Do you think this is the decline, or do you think it was just a one-off?
I would watch her again.
Okay.
Because it was almost like it didn't seem like she was really listening to her corner people either. And then they were trying to find other ways to reach her, like, you're doing good. You had a good round. She didn't get destroyed by this young woman. Don't get me wrong. It didn't look like she was fighting to win. Looked like she was
it unanimous?
Yeah, it was unanimous. Yeah. She was fighting. That's what she was doing. And, I was just like, wow. It was kind of when you really, we don't watch it like casuals anymore. So it's kind of hard for us to watch a fight when we see the fundamental things people are not doing correctly. And it's kind of like watching, and I know we're going to get into it, but it's kind of like watching the Tony Ferguson fight. When you see things just aren't matching up, you're not doing the basic things that you should be doing, especially making the basic adjustments. It's hard to watch.
Heather Hardy has always been a very marketable fighter, a very outspoken fighter, a very honest fighter. I do want to see her again. I want to see her after this performance because I don't want to think that we're losing, someone to help usher in a totally new generation of boxing, and she was a part of that. So, but if it is, man, she's giving it a great run. But yeah, I mean, at age 37, 38, yeah, I think
39.
39. Okay, well, same neighborhood, but okay, yeah, 39. Yeah, it's you're not going to get any faster. Your reflexes aren't going to get any better. The only thing you can do at this point is get smarter. So we'll see, bro. But I heard you talking about it yesterday on the hashtag Watch the Pod, and I was just like, wow, that's kind of played out, kind of how we said it. But listen, I think we hit 3 for 3 this weekend because all the fights played out like how we don't give predictions, but we were both kind of talking about all these fights in a similar circular fashion. Now that you kind of segued into it, let's get into the UFC card, bro, from Saturday night. Let's start with a couple of those prelim, those early main event cards that we saw. Hashtag Watch the Pod. I heard you talking about Caitlin Chukagian. You never give my girl the blonde bomber her just due. I want you to know that. I thought she won that fight. I thought Vivian gave her a hell the first round. The second round, she did manage to kick her down, but come on, man, them knees and kicks. She was definitely landing the more telling, the more exciting shots, bro.
The way Vivian took her down and the way Vivian worked her over when she took her down, any man they would have given that round to. So, yes, Vivian did herself no justice after she got up and in that third round. Vivian checked out. I mean, obviously, Caitlin was faster. Caitlin had better feet, better hands. In that third round, it was almost like Caitlin fighting. Oh man, I can't remember her name. Valentina's daughter, yeah, her sister, yeah,
Antonia.
Yeah, it was like that fight.
On that card. Right. Listen, man, stop doing the blonde fighter like that, man. I like Caitlin Chukagian. Here's the interesting part, though, bro. I think we both agree. Caitlin Chukagian is already, and I don't know how old she is, but she's a gatekeeper. We know that she can't. When you talk about putting her in there with Valentina and
who else she gonna fight?
What else I'm saying? She can't beat the elite. So, but listen, she's a hellified gatekeeper, bro. Where is she ranked? Is Caitlin what? She ranked 3, 4, something like that?
Caitlin is ranked 2.
Right. So, like I was saying, bro, she's a great gatekeeper, man. I just think that she makes for some good fights, bro. I just like how she fights. She's a great fight to me.
She lost that fight, bro. She was fighting number 7. She lost that fight. I don't care. She lost that fight. There was the best she could have hoped for on an honest scorecard was a draw. On an honest scorecard, the best she could have hoped for was a draw. Because it just what it looked like, man.
I mean, it's all, it's about what the judges like to see. I did see where Vivian was able to get her on the ground. And kind of keep her there to a degree, but she couldn't really generate anything offensively from being on the ground. Caitlin was able to defend it enough. I think the difference for the fight was when you see the replays, you don't see replays of the position jostling when they're on the ground. On replays, you see her taking knees to the face, straight rights, jabs, straight teep kicks. So the more exciting parts of the fight, the more telling punches and kicks and knees were landed by Caitlin. So I think maybe that's probably what the judges saw. I don't know, bro, but I don't think she lost that fight. But, that's why we do this every other day. We agree to disagree. A fight that you wanted to gloss over, bro. And I said, bro, I like Burgos because he's a puncher. He fights. And you said, yeah, but Barboza's like 80. And I was like, bro, it could be decent. And bro, that may have been the best fight on the card, bro, because I've never, ever seen someone get knocked out while they were still
Bro, stop.
looking like they were still in the fight.
Bro.
He got hit, and I
saw,
was like, what is going on?
You saw the look on his face. Even, I mean, talking about real time. Like, he was asking the same darn question. He's like, what's going on? Like, his head was thinking,
bro.
I got a punch, and his legs were like, good night.
I'll let you later, bro. That, bro, I've seen similar things, but like you say, he was so hardwired, and this is what we talk about by being real fighters. He's such a fighter that even in the brief disconnect that he endured at the hands of Barboza, bro, he was still trying to fight, even though his body was like, nah, what are you doing? Like, this is over with, bro. We're not doing this. Bro, that was interesting, but it was a very good fight. And honestly, bro, I thought Burgos was going to take him out. And then all of a sudden, Barboza just hit Burgos, and once he hurt him, he never really recovered. Barboza recovered beautifully, bro, from a couple of rights and an uppercut, bro. He was getting smacked that first round, bro. So yeah, I didn't think he was gonna pull that one out, and bro, he did. He turned around and he finished Barboza. I mean, he finished Burgos, bros. It was a very good fight. I was surprised.
It was one of the most interesting knockouts I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm counting boxing included. I've never seen somebody have that big of a freaking delay. It's like you hit me in my head and my feet notice it first.
Right, bro. We usually see that kind of delay from a body shot, which we got to see on Showtime Boxing, but we'll talk about that. But bro, yeah, that was a delayed reaction you would normally see to a kidney or a liver shot. Bro, and I said, when he went down, I said, well, did he hurt his leg or something? I was like, because that delay, I was like, is he out? And then when I saw the replay, I was like, oh, nobody's really home.
Right.
It looked like it, but nobody was there, bro.
No. They all left with that punch. It was just like the brain left first, so the body didn't know how to react. It's like the head's like, okay, we need to just keep focused. The hands are like, we need to stay up while we're dropping. And then the legs were like, woohoo! I was done, bro. But everybody stopped. Everybody stopped when he fell. And the ref should have stopped it right then. There was no need to let somebody come in and take another shot when he went down like that. No need, bro.
Do you think the ref maybe thought he had hurt his leg or something and not that he was unconscious?
Not the way he was looking. Not the way I got a vision problem, and I saw the way he was looking when he went down. I think the ref was as stunned as everybody else.
Yeah, I can't blame him on that one, bro. Good thing Burgos was not hurt, but yeah, bro, that was a very interesting and very delayed knockout, like you said. Those are the kind of reactions you see to body shots, not to head shots. It was a perfect shot on the temple, so everything's shut off. But man, it was just, and then you can even look at him after the fight. He was telling his corner, he was like, I don't know what happened. Like, I don't even know. He was. He didn't take it. He didn't take the loss, or at least in front of the camera hard. But he was just like, "Dude, I'm sorry, y'all." Like, he mouthed the words, "I'm sorry. I don't know what happened." That's crazy.
It looked like there was TikTok videos that are going around where they have the camera, like the winking eye, like the eyes opening after they say something wrong to their parents, and the parents like, "Wakey, wakey." That's what he looked like. Like, huh? I mean, but you'd have to ask the same question. I mean, the way he got hit, and the way to see somebody go out and they're still moving. That's like when you hear about people like cutting a chicken's head off and putting it down, and the chicken just running around flapping, and then they just wind down. That's what Buddy looked like.
Yeah.
So I can understand why he didn't know what happened to him. He's probably thinking, okay, we're going to fight? No, bro. No need to fight. What you mean? I came here to fight. I know, bro. But you just got to understand. It's over. What you mean it's over? Look at the video screen. I'm seeing 3 screens. Exactly. Just sit on the stool. We got you. Yeah. I wanted to talk about that one too. I'm glad you hit that one first, because I was like, we can't let this one gloss over.
That was entertaining, bro. And then after that fight, we got treated to Tony Ferguson versus Dariush.
Listen.
And If you hashtag watch the pod, we both and I was saying more about Darius just probably being better. You were hinting at the fact that Tony Ferguson might just be done. And honestly, like a combination of both, bro. It was so he's
His toughness is still there. His toughness will always be there.
was his arm broken?
His leg.
I mean not his arm, his leg when he got
I
on that
think
heel hook. Did he snap something?
He said he didn't hear anything, but Darius said, "Look, I heard it pop," and he screamed, and then he started kicking me. So I just let it go. It's like there's no more I can do to it. He said, "I figured it was over," but he let go. He was trying to get up.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
his toughness is legendary, but bro, it's interesting because Daniel Cormier and Joe Rogan not as much, but I think it might have been Rogan too. No, the guy they had on Dean somebody on the
Dean Thomas.
Dean Thomas made the statement that Cormier made as well when they said that Tony Ferguson was just so unorthodox and gifted for most of his career. They feel like he never took the time to learn the fundamentals of this game. And when you get older, you slow down, it's the fundamentals that keep you going. And I was like, well, it's a shame they can't blend fundamentals with toughness, because that guy takes you really have
He's
to pull
taking some beatings.
you have to pull both of his legs off, really, for him to stop fighting. He needs to be protected from himself. I don't know if you heard me say that yesterday. I think somebody needs to step in and protect him from himself, because he takes beating after beating. Now, I forgot Oliveira beat him before or after Gaethje beat him, and they mentioned that during the and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
It honestly, bro, I wouldn't watch another Tony Ferguson fight because I wouldn't want to see what he would put himself through.
I'm a little bit on the fence with what Cormier and Dean Thomas said, and I have no right to be. Those guys are champions and experts. They know more about all of the disciplines than I would. They've forgotten more about the disciplines than I'd ever know. But what my eyes tell me is that he's just not the same fighter anymore. The beating he took from Justin Gaethje, you and I both said it. When you lose fights like that, part of you is left behind in the octagon. What Charles Oliveira did to him was more of the confirmation that this is over. A la Tyron Woodley, what Darius did to him last night was for everybody else to probably tell him now. Like Tyron Woodley when he got beat by Vicente Luque.
Okay, I was gonna say which time.
It was time. It was time for the world to say, okay, stop. Like, even as fans, stop. It's just over with. The ride is over.
It's funny.
This is what this is with Tony Ferguson, bro.
Yeah.
This is what this is. It's not the fundamentals or lack thereof. This is a guy that just has given everything. There's really nothing left.
But they're not going
to.
They're not going to disrespect him on television and say what you just said, even though you're 100% correct.
Okay, so you're thinking that they probably would honestly feel the same way I feel. They were just okay.
Because they said when your skills diminish, it's the fundamentals that keep you going.
Okay.
They didn't
I watched the fight with no sound, so I wasn't hearing the commentary.
Yeah, so. No, they weren't focusing on the fundamentals. They were using that to illustrate that when your skills diminish, it's the fundamentals that keep you going. It's funny you brought up Tyron Woodley as an example, because I was saying that they should have had this conversation with him after the Burns fight, definitely after the Covington fight. Because remember, I was saying he shouldn't even be fighting that against Vicente Luque. We didn't need to see that. I mean, when we saw him get dismantled by Kamaru Usman, and then he got dismantled by Gilbert Burns in a similar fashion, but with more punches. And then he tried to make a comeback against Covington, but the way that ended, it was like, okay, he's not a top tier guy. And then for him to lose to Vicente Luque, it's just like, no, take this man's gloves, put him in the and now we'll see if his legend is completely ruined as a commentator.
Yeah, Here's a word for you, bro, that you didn't probably think about. It just hit me. Contracts. Contracts. I think what happens, I think maybe that conversation is probably had behind closed doors, maybe with management. And they say, okay, look, we don't want to cut you. We want you to go out on your shield. So what we'll do is if you're okay, if you don't have any real physical wear and tear, let's just get you back in like another 2 months and let's just get you out of your contract. That's how you feel. And maybe not in those terms, in those exact words, but because there's no like you said, there was no reason for Tony Ferguson to fight Charles Oliveira. For what?
Because
the way he got beaten by Justin Gaethje, he shouldn't have fought again for at least a year.
Right.
At least a year.
Right.
Then you fight Oliveira and you get just beat to pieces again. Then you turn around and now you fight one of the hottest guys on the UFC roster. This is over with, man. So I'm thinking that maybe this is probably the fourth fight of that contract. He may have one more. But yeah, bro, like I think that's the only reason why we've seen these guys with these relatively quick flips.
Listen, somebody close to them needs to say, hey, retirement is better than what you're putting your brain and your body through. Now, we had to look at all the factors. What if Ferguson, when he started really making money, didn't put the money away, didn't do the right things with it?
Just need the money. Yeah.
So, hey, this is more than I'm going to make as a manager at Walmart. So,
right.
Or a greeter, because I have a name, so they'll probably give me a position where, I'm effective, just as being marketable by my face and my name, but I'm not going to make as much as I do fighting. What else am I going to do? So that's the hard road as my old pastor used to say, when the rubber hits the road. Now I'm in a position where I know I'm not a good fighter. I know my name is getting destroyed by every loss that comes my way, but I can't retire. I don't feel I can retire. And you're right. And I say this, companies like the UFC, hey, you've built your name in this organization. We're going to make as much money off you before you leave. They're not saying that to him, but it's just like the whole Tyron Woodley. If you really care about these guys, tear up the contract. Say, look, you can go to another organization. I'm saving you, doing the best I can to save you from yourself. But I know you're going to say business doesn't denote that. At some point, you look at business and you look at the well-being of somebody who earned you a lot of money. And you say, what can I do to best help you? And letting you get in there to fight and get destroyed is not the best way I can help you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you in theory, but that's not how this works. And like you said, one thing that we do know is that these guys don't get paid like they should. We know that. So whatever they're making, we wouldn't be surprised if it was substantially lower than what we thought it was. Mm-hmm. So you're right. A guy like Tony Ferguson, hell, even a guy like Tyron Woodley, just might need that money, bro. They just may, okay, if I can make 150 grand these next two fights and walk away, that's what I'll do. But I can't leave 150 grand on the table.
And I kind of wonder, bro, as you say that, if the contract says, as a champion, defending champion, this is how much you make, but without the title, this is how much you make.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there are incentives or escalators for title fights, or even becoming the number one contender for the title. And then every subsequent defense, I'm sure your purse escalates as well. So I'm pretty sure Kamaru Usman is making more now than he did when he first won the belt from Woodley and after he defended it from Covington.
Or de-escalates.
Each time I'm sure he's either getting a bigger purse or he's getting a bigger portion of the pay-per-view streams or however they break it down minutely for their guys. But yeah, what we do know is they're underpaid. They're underpaid. So whatever these guys are getting paid ain't enough. And they're still fighting and they know they shouldn't be, which we feel like is the reality for some of these guys because they're not crazy. And they remember when they were looking at guys that stayed in too long. So yeah, bro, I would like to think that maybe that could be a thing.
Hey, I know this is the parts from what we're talking about, but we'll get right back. Just wanted to let everybody know congratulations to my dad. He just texted me and said, still no smoking. He went through a program and he hadn't smoked in about 4 days now, 5 days. And
Wow.
it doesn't sound like, it sounds like, okay, that's only a few days. But like my dad was telling me, he started smoking when he was 7. So when you look at how many years that is to where he is now, 4 or 5 days is amazing.
Listen, I am proud of your father, man. That is a dope accomplishment. Yeah, that's something to be commended, man. Definitely is.
I'm proud of him, man. Now when I hug him, I won't have to choke back my cough.
Meanwhile, let's put a button on this UFC card for Saturday, bro. The main event.
Yes, sir.
Exactly how we said it was going to play out.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I guess it did.
We should do the over-under on ourselves, bro, because we hit this weekend, bro. I said it, you said it, we both agreed that it wasn't going 5. And it ended like how I thought it would. I just didn't know who was going to be on the giving end, especially in the first round.
Right. And only 19 seconds later?
Right. Let me say this before we talk about how good Charles Oliveira is, because that's a real thing. I doubted Michael Chandler, bro. I doubted Michael Chandler. I doubted him because even though I saw him making a run at Bellator, I just wasn't a believer. I thought the athleticism, I thought that gap was just, it wasn't, I thought it was wider than it is. The only thing that Michael Chandler should be concerned about is his age.
He's 35.
Because from an athletic standpoint, what he did in that first round, bro, he can beat anybody.
Yeah.
In that division at 155. Yeah. He can. I was impressed by Michael Chandler, bro. So let me start by saying that. Now that I got that out of the way, that's a bad man, bro. Charles Oliveira is a bad man. I think whatever issues he had early on when first of all, he was young, very young in the UFC. But whatever those issues were, and I don't know if they were all mental or if it was just skill, whatever it is, he figured it out, bro. I don't know, bro, who can beat him at 155. And that is a tough, loaded division, bro. But this man has a hellified skill set, bro. We ain't gonna talk about the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that's A1. Did you see the boxing adjustment, bro?
Yeah, and the fact that he kept everything in tight.
Bro.
But what I will say is, I believe they're gonna have to run this thing back again.
Not immediately, but you're right. Yes, yes, this fight deserves rematch. But because you let him cut the line, now he has to go to the back of the line. Mm-hmm. And you got to get the other guys a shot.
Unfortunately for them, because
what is it? Yeah, but I will say this now, bro. As good as Oliveira is, I don't know if the gap's that big. I don't know if we're looking at an Adesanya or a John Jones or anything like that. He can be beat. I just don't know if any of those guys can beat him when he's on his game.
Chandler tried to fight him like Hooker when he knocked him down and got him on the ground. That was Chandler's mistake. When he dropped his head like that, you should have immediately sunk in a guillotine, wrapped your legs around his body, and choked him to sleep. Because what did Oliveira do that Hooker could not do? Oliveira pulled guard, and that saved him. Because the ref, Oliveira did just enough for the ref not to even try to step in and stop it.
Here's where I disagree with. Well, no, here's where I agree with you, but let me tell you why it didn't happen. If you go back to the beginning of the fight, before Michael Chandler did one of the most athletic things I've ever seen in an octagon, when he got up the way he did. I think he knew then that even as good as a wrestler as he was, he would be in somewhat trouble if he let this fight go to the ground. That's the only reason why I don't think he did it, bro, because it took him a while to get up. It really did. And with him being the stronger man and the much better wrestler, I think Oliveira's jiu-jitsu was just that good. And he was like, you know what? Let me just keep this on standing up. And I use my hand speed, my quickness, and my power, and I can probably put him out. I don't think he really wanted it to be on the ground. I don't think that's why he did it.
But then why do you keep him there? Why do you waste all that time and keep him there, kicking his legs? His legs isn't why he was on the ground. He was on the ground because the equilibrium went off, because you caught him. So let him up and strike him again. If you're not going to put him in a guillotine and try to choke him out, let him up.
Well, yeah. And bro, to be fair, I will say this. I think Michael Chandler, I think in the heat of the moment, this is where the big game atmosphere, I think, matters a little bit. He hadn't fought in a long time. This was a very emotional fight for him. You know, I think he had a lot right on his plate. I don't know. I think maybe he just kind of went off script a little bit. And I think it's because he's just in the moment. Whereas Oliveira stayed on script to the T.
I don't know if he went off script. I honestly believe he meant, and maybe he did go off script because he tried. If you watch his posturing when Oliveira went down, he did the same thing that he did with Hooker.
Yeah, you're right.
Same thing.
He did.
He squatted and he was punching him in the side of the head. He squatted, and Oliveira was like, Oliveira couldn't defend it in his position, so he went right to his back and put his guard up. And Chandler got sucked right in, and it's like, no, your corner is yelling for you to stand up. Make him stand up. So, I mean, it is what it is. Oliveira won. He was the better man on that night because in that second round, everybody thought he was going to come out still groggy. No, sir. And he kept them punches in tight and straight. And he...
Beautiful hook.
Yeah.
Beautiful hook.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Showed a whole nother level to me.
Beautiful hook, man.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm like, bro, on his best night, I just don't know. He seems to have figured this thing out. He's in a groove like Kamaru Usman, bro. Everything just is probably really slow to him. So,
well, we're gonna see.
I don't know, bro. Yeah,
we're gonna see.
Hell of a fight, though.
It was.
So yeah, Dana White wins. Dana White wins again, man. Again, like I said, bro, it's always these unassuming cards. We up here on Monday talking about damn, bro. Actually,
it wasn't. It was a decent card because when it was over, the Red Belly came over and watched it. When it was over, I looked at him. I said, "It was decent. It was okay." Yeah. I don't feel like I was really off on this card.
Well, but we didn't have any names on this card, bro.
But
so
again,
our expectations were low.
No, you said coming
I think so. No. Yeah, I think that we knew that based on the fighters that it could be a very competitive card. But I think subconsciously, because there were no marquee names on the card, we kind of lowered our standard a little bit of our expectations. So I think, I'm saying it's a good card, but if this would have been Usman versus Masvidal on this card, we take one of those other fights off. Now we saying it's a great card, probably because the main event lived up to the hype too. So I don't know.
If this was a Apex, a fight night card, I'd be like, wow, that was a pretty good card. But you bought this.
Yeah. And there's the context, so you're right.
They've been winning on the fights that have been selling like crazy and winning on the fights that have been free. So, but now this one, it was okay. Because I say it was all right just because somebody paid some good money for this fight. And
Indeed.
So, but,
Indeed.
Again, you shout out to your Uncle Dana. I get it. Hey, yesterday I wanted to talk about it. I really didn't get into it that much because this is your thing. The NBA Hall of Fame induction was Saturday night. Did you see any of it?
Only the highlights, but I did hear you talk about it on the show yesterday. #WatchThePod. I mean, I was busy with family, so I didn't get a chance to see it. But it's just one of them things, man. You will never forget that class, and it was just odd reliving the fact that Kobe wasn't there because you just knew, especially after he retired, what that would have been like because all three of those guys shared a conference together. So there was a rivalry between all of those guys, very heated and very passionate. More so between Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan, but all those guys kind of, had their time. So it was just been great to see Kobe and hear Kobe, but I thought Vanessa did a good job. I thought the speech was pretty good from what I heard. But yeah, but
was
the point you made about Kobe changing basketball, I thought was very accurate. I thought very accurate. And Kobe didn't change basketball because he did anything different. Kobe changed basketball because he was he was a global ambassador, bro. He was someone that was truly. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, he was somebody that, because of his upbringing, was just loved by people from multiple countries. I mean, he grew up in Italy. He spoke fluent Spanish, so that ingratiated him with all of Latin America per se. Then he spoke Chinese. He went over there. He was just a modern day Renaissance man, and it was just pretty cool to watch his art because I was a Jordan baby. You were a Magic baby. I was a Jordan baby, bro. So I didn't want anybody coming to be better than Jordan, especially when they played just like him. So I had a real disdain for Kobe, bro. But as I got older, and especially after Shaq left, and I started to see it, man, I just started appreciating Kobe so much more, man. So
everybody talks about Kobe. Kobe was the next version of Michael Jordan. Kobe was you're right about the era, but I wasn't a Magic baby, bro. I was a Dr. J baby, bro.
Okay.
I don't know if you really looked at highlights or videos of Julius Erving.
I don't need to because I know how awesome he was. I only said that because but you're right. The age, you're right.
No, I get it because I learned to appreciate Magic Johnson more and more, even before he stopped playing. But I was a true Dr. J fan.
And everybody from the neighborhood was a Dr. J fan.
And Dr. J did something that Kobe did. Dr. J took his NBA game to Rucker Park before he hit the NBA. Mm-hmm. And he carried that same game, that same mentality. He was a legend. Listen. And then when you see Kobe, after he's in the league, take his NBA game to Rucker Park. Kobe didn't adjust his game. Kobe brought the same game to the park, and they showed out. And that, to me, that's when I started being a Kobe fan.
Yeah, I think Kobe was only loved by Laker fans for a while. The hood, even in the hood, we mess with him, but we ain't mess with it. We mess with him because we mess with Shaq. You feel me? So it's kind of like a package deal, so to speak. But yes, you're right. When he started playing those summer league ball games in Rucker Park, and you saw him as he became the top dog in the league, and you got to see the way he treated the young guys come in and just how, and then what he did on the Olympic team, bro. Yeah, it was over from there, bro. So yeah, definitely.
Because people talk about who's your favorite, Kobe or Jordan. I liked Michael. I really liked Michael. I appreciated Michael's game, but it's gonna sound crazy. Michael was never my favorite player. I respected his game, and I respected the way he orchestrated everything around him. When he realized to be the best player, I need better people around me. And most people would say that doesn't make sense before that time. Because when you brought up people like Magic Johnson, when Magic was on the court, it was no doubt Magic was the best player on the court, but Magic made everybody around him better, which grew his legend. I mean, 5 rings. You can't argue with 5 rings, especially when the most dominant big man since Wilt Chamberlain left the game, and you're still thought of as a threat. Your team. But when I look at Kobe, excuse me, Michael, I don't think you'll ever give us an interview. I wish you would. But Kobe didn't have to be an asshole to his teammates.
Yeah.
His teammates didn't really tell those stories. They told stories of Kobe expected you to play at a certain level. Do a certain thing.
Paul Gasol would probably speak more highly of him now, but I know him and Kobe got into it a few times. But you're absolutely right. 2 different, they played alike, and that was about it. Their games, and you can tell Kobe mimicked everything from Michael, but that was as far as it went. Outside of basketball and everything else, there were two different people. I don't listen, and I'm not saying this for you to agree. I'm saying this for everybody out there, especially people in my generation. Let's stop with the Michael Jordan hate and slander, okay? We know Michael is not, this isn't for you. Listen to what I'm saying. A lot of people in my demographic are starting to say things like, well, what has Mike ever done for the community? Or Mike, when we needed Mike to help us get certain people in office, or when Mike was asked about his voting and Mike was asked about it, it was always about the money or the brand. Yeah, it was. But also keep in mind this, the world had never seen anything like Michael Jordan. He was a global star. There was only 3 Mikes at the time, right? Or three Mikes at the time. He was one of them. Tyson, Jackson, and Jordan. And all those were global stars. So it wasn't the same. So, yeah, looking at it through a 2020 lens, when you've had LeBron James to look at, yeah, we could say, hey, Mike, you ain't do nothing. But let's not forget that this man revolutionized basketball, changed marketing, and changed sneakers forever. So, but that was just my little spill. I don't need you to really comment on that. That was just me because I know I'm going to say that.
I appreciate that. And even if Michael had done stuff for the community, the narrative wouldn't have gotten out anyway. It was a different media back then. So, let's call it what it is. He was the best basketball player on the planet. He was inducted into a society that allowed him to be the richest athlete on the planet. So it is what it is. I'm not slandering Michael Jordan in any way. And I know that's, but when you piggyback into that off of what I said, somebody gonna look at it and be like, wait a minute, maybe he did talk about, I did. But I'm not slandering him. I'm not talking about.
No. You just said that he wasn't your favorite player. That has nothing to do with anything. I was just saying.
And when I said Kobe didn't have to be an asshole about it.
Yeah, for sure.
You listen to the people that played with Mike. This is what they have said. They're still talking about the fact that he slapped Steve Kerr in practice. Okay, well, Shaq slapped Kobe. They don't talk about. They're not talking about that. I do believe there's a lot of haterade out against Michael Jordan right now, and Michael got 6 rings, in a time where basketball went from being brutal basketball to finesse basketball, and literally people say it changed at the end of the 80s. It didn't. It was getting phased out as the Bulls won their first 3 championships because they were able to finesse those dudes that were the bad boys. They were able to claim the East for what it was, or for theirs. So when you look at Michael Jordan, instead of hating on Michael Jordan, look at what he did and what he has done when he recognized what he could do for the community. We always hold people to standards when we want to hold them to standards. But people grow and people change at different times. We came down on Gayle King about Kobe. Why? Because she brought up the issue in Colorado. But we don't come down on people when they talk about Michael Jordan's gambling issue. We don't come down on people when they talk about Michael Jordan not giving to the community. We don't come down on people when they on ESPN when they talk about how he embarrassed OJ Mayo. I mean, we can't pick and choose, when we want to say someone is a superstar in our neighborhood or in our culture. Mike is a superstar, pure and simple. That's it. You're right. The 3 Mikes, Jordan, Tyson, and Jackson. And we have given them grief, all of them at different times. But yet, we still want to hold them up when it's appropriate.
So before we get off the basketball tip, man, Russell Westbrook finished the season averaging 22, 11, and 12 for his 4th career triple-double season. He just passed Oscar Robertson last week or 2 weeks ago for the most triple-doubles ever. Bro, let's put some respect on Russell Wilson's name. By the time he's done, he's got to be in your top 10 all time. I don't know where you put him. I don't even really care. I'm a little bit bothered because I don't want him in my top 10. Bro, those numbers are undeniable. I don't know how you can keep him out.
How tall is he? 6'3"?
6'3", 215.
He's
NFL safety playing in the NBA.
And leading in rebounds. It's like, how, bro? How? Listen, Russell Westbrook, you knew he was special at OKC, but most people figured he was special because he had Kevin Durant and James Harden coming off the bench. No, that brother was special because he was my Steve Smith of the NBA.
Bro.
He wasn't the biggest, he wasn't the strongest, he probably wasn't the fat, but he was the most competitive.
Well, he was a dog. He is a dog.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right about yep, Steve Smith. That was his game. That was his game. But yeah, I just want to throw it in there. So, bro, let's get in some boxing real quick. I know we're up against it. Let's get through it.
Before we leave the NBA, I got to give you a shout out. All the times you put up the big fundamental and talked about how great the big fundamental was. And unfortunately, I was blinded by what I saw Coppin State do to him at Wake Forest. And I knew he was a great player, but you made me sit back and think when they won their fifth NBA championship under Tim Duncan. They didn't get it done before Duncan got there, and they haven't gotten it done since Duncan left. Tim Duncan has to be regarded as one of the greatest centers in NBA history. Because he could play center. He played forward when he got there because they had David Robinson.
Yeah. I agree with you. I can't make him one of the best. That's tough. I'm not gonna say that because I think he was the best power forward ever. So I think that's why I can't put him as the best center ever. But
okay, the best 4 or 5.
Yeah. And dig this, bro. You said 5 rings. If it wasn't for Steve, if it wasn't for Kawhi Leonard missing 1 or 2, Ginobili missing 1 or 2, and then Ray Allen hitting that shot, he would have won 6. If he had gotten to 6, bro, we talking a total different conversation right now.
And we shouldn't. We shouldn't be talking a total different conversation. Because to me, Michael got 6 in 8 years.
Right.
Magic got 5 in 9 years, 10 years?
Something like that.
Or less?
Yeah.
Tim Duncan got 5 over 15, 19 years, something like that?
Yeah.
So
Something
to me, it's great when you spread it out. I know people talk about, well, Jordan did 6 and 8. All right, Russell did 10 and 11 years. But if you're able to stay at that level that long, bro, 5, and you're always considered a pivotal cog. There weren't any of those, like with Kareem, you could say you had James Worthy, you had, what's the dude, AC Green, last Jerry Curl in the league, you had Magic Johnson,
and
you had
Virgin.
And
Virgin.
Really, bro. You had all these people around you who compensated when your knees were horrible. So, and being 7'2", you only had to get 10 points a game with the Lakers back then. So, Tim Duncan was that dude in every championship. So, look, if we have to go 4 or 5, he's my best or second best 4 or 5 ever.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to push Wilt to the side, and it's hard to push Bill Russell to the side, but. And Kareem did some magical things because he got 6. He got 1 with Milwaukee and then came over to the Lakers.
Sweet Lou. Bro, we had some boxing on Showtime Saturday, bro. Let's get through it real quick. The fight I liked the most was the Daniel Roman Espinosa fight, bro. Great fight, some great inside work by Daniel Roman, I'm sorry.
Roman.
Says he wants Figueroa next because he beat Luis Neri, but bro, we know who got Figueroa next. Friend of the show, he gave us an interview. Schoolboy Stephen Fulton is going to fight Figueroa, bro, for that belt. I'm excited about that. The fight's already been put up. I think it's supposed to go down in September.
That's going to be a good fight. That's going to be a good fight.
That's going to be a great fight. But the Neri Figueroa fight was a good fight, bro. I don't know how much of it you got to see, but, bro, that was a very good and competitive fight. Perfect body shot, and I want to say it was right below the heart. Where was it? Because it wasn't in the liver. It was right below. It almost like the solar plexus a little bit. He hit him almost in the chest, kind of, right?
Yeah. It looked like it, just a little lower. Yeah.
Just a little lower, right? Yeah. And when he went down, bro, it was over.
Was nasty.
And that was, again, a delayed reaction, right?
Yeah. He
got hit. He was like, ooh, and he saw him just slowly start to break down. And he rolls over on all 4s. And whenever somebody does that,
it's over.
They ain't getting up because he's trying to find some air. So
that takes everything you have. I don't know if you've ever been hit in that area, but I remember the first time, it wasn't in karate, it wasn't in boxing, it was with a football helmet by a running back. And they wouldn't let me come out because it was in practice. And I was like, I couldn't even, it was horrible. It was horrible for the next 5 or 6 plays because you can't breathe. And then when you can breathe, there's pain there. It's like, oh crap, now like pain on top of dying. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, that I'm sure that hurt like hell, bro. But same thing happened to me in football, but it wasn't a helmet. I was jumping on a fumble. And the ball was in, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'll never forget that. So yeah. I've taken some body shots before, but none that I can remember as of late that's ever made me double over in pain.
Right.
But I did wear a body shield for a heavyweight about a year ago, or 2 years ago now. And he was about 6'6", 6'7", about 250, 245. It was a guy that Uncle was training over at Caltas, and I was wearing a body shield for him, man. I took about 2 rounds, man. After that second round, and I was just like, bro, I can't take no more. I can't wear it, bro. I mean, them 3-minute rounds. The first round, I was like, okay, I'm all right. It hurt, but I was like, okay. I had got my breathing down. I was like, I can take these. But bro, after that second round, it's just.
That's why
that's tough.
That's why they have heavy bags and stuff. Like, I ain't gonna lie. We had to do that in Taekwondo. Learn how to take body shots. We didn't have that padding that people have when they.
The body shield, yeah.
And I remember dude hit me, and all I could think of is, I'm going to have my turn. That's the only thing I could think of. And I know we were just learning how to apply, but he hit me like he had been holding that for a while. So when it came my turn and they gave us the speech again about, hey, thank you for doing da-da-da-da. And I thought they were getting ready to say, no, we can't do it. I didn't care if we were in the locker room or outside. He won't take this body shot. So fortunately for him, they let us get up and and do it the second turn where I was on offense and he was on defense, just taking the body shot. And I hit Buddy, and I saw and then I felt Buddy's breath go right past my face. And that's when I recognized somebody can get hurt and not fall. Because like his toes locked into the mat. Like, oh Lord, we're about to topple over. Let's catch ourselves. And the upper body was like, no, let's fall. So when I had to do it on the other side, I just kind of tipped him over. He quit. I was only 14, bro. I was just 14. He was a grown man. He quit. He didn't come back, or at least he didn't come back to any of the classes I took. I'm sure he didn't just drive through and see me and just keep going. I think he quit. My bad. If you're watching, thank you for watching, and I apologize.
He might have quit, bro. We'll never know. We got some good fights coming up this weekend, bro. UFC. Rob Font against Cody Garbrandt. I like Cody. I'm looking forward to that fight. I like Rob too. It should be an all-action fight.
Yeah.
We don't pick predictions on this show, but that's gonna be a good fight, bro.
That is gonna be a good fight. I didn't really see any other ones on the card that I wanted to see.
Well, yeah, I didn't see. That just came across my social, just the headline. That's what it said. So I didn't look into it either. But looking forward to that. But guess what we got cooking on Saturday, bro? Across the pond.
Come on,
I know you know. Josh Taylor,
yes,
versus Ramirez, bro. I'm so hyped for this unification fight at 140 pounds, bro. This is a big deal, bro. This is going to really shake up the landscape of boxing, especially between 140 and 135, where you got those Teofimo Lopez's. You got Gervonta Davis fighting Mario Barrios in June for a 140-pound strap. So it's a lot of moving parts going on here. Bro, I'm excited for this fight, man.
It's going to be a great fight. And you start asking yourself, with this fight, you got people hanging out there like Rougarou, Regis Prograis.
Yep.
He fought Josh Taylor.
So it was a good fight. He lost, but it was a good fight, decent fight.
So you wonder, does Josh Taylor want that fight again?
Why not? I think he's confident he can beat Regis again.
Okay. I want to see that one again. I think that.
Yeah, I do. I think Regis has gotten a little bit better, but we about to see how good Josh Taylor is too. So
yeah. I think we're gonna see. Taylor's a good fighter. He's a really good fighter.
Taylor's a really good fighter, but Ramirez is a big boy at 140 though. Ramirez is a big boy at 140. He's coming forward. Mexican style, bro. I'm tuned in for this. I am tuned in for this.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fight, and I can't wait. And that fight's gonna be on ESPN. Um, 8:30 on Saturday. You got a Friday night fight, Jonathan Gonzalez against Armando Torres. And that's going to be from the great city of Tampa, Florida. Bro, I'm ashamed of you. This fight's happening Friday night, and you didn't even tell people what was going on in Tampa, Florida. You are Mr. Tampa, bro.
Don't know about any of that, but I will blame this on my bad cell service. Maybe it ain't come through yet. Maybe I ain't get the alert.
And you watch Telemundo for the women. So it's going to be on Telemundo. It says check local listings, but it's going to be from the Bryant Glazier family, JCC, where we did our first fight stream from. So yeah, it's going to be Friday night. The reason why they say check local listings is because they usually, when they do fights, just like when they used to do them over at the was it the All Star? No, where All Star did theirs at the a la carte pavilion. When Telemundo records the fights, they send them back to their home base and they air them usually around 11:30, some crazy time like that. So that's why they'll say check local listings. But that's going to be a pretty fight. It's going to be a junior flyweight title. Well, no, junior flyweight fight. But yeah, that, and then we got another one on Saturday, real quick. It's going to be on, I'm guessing ESPN Plus, because it says Channel 5.
Okay.
But it's in the UK. So, Sam Eggleton versus Carlos Molina.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
The vacant WBC silver middleweight title. So,
okay. I might want to check that one out. Old Eggleton against
Molina. Carlos Molina.
Okay.
So we'll definitely keep y'all informed about those. So shout out to my mom, my pops, my wife, my daughter, Fighter Share Nation. All right, bro.
Yeah, man, like my partner said, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time talking the same good game we just gave y'all today. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Spread a little love out there. It's crazy. Got some beautiful weather here. Hey, man, shouts out to Marv Albert retiring this year after the Eastern Conference Finals, man. They brought Marv Albert back when nobody else would, because if he would have bit somebody nowadays, he would have never got his job back. Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury set for August 14th in Saudi Arabia. We'll see. You never know. In the meantime, y'all be safe. I'll let y'all fight. This nation be gone. We out here. Peace.
From way downtown.